screen. Hey, I think I'm live. Though the quality is hot garbage. I need to get a better internet connection. Okay. Hit refresh. Okay. There's no description. Do this real quick. Okay, let's save that. Let's go back and see. That worked? That worked. Are we live? Are we live? I think we're live. I think we're live. It's my first time ever streaming, so bear with me if it's actually live. So it looks like it was working. How about here? We're live. Okay. Please forgive any of the weirdness going on. Trying to figure this all out. This is my first time ever streaming, so let me share this link. Delete this. Let's go here. Copy. There we go. All right, so I'm going to close YouTube because I'm assuming it's actually streaming now, and then we'll just get to work on developing the game. If this is your first time stopping by the channel, thanks for stopping by. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll try to answer them. So right now, I'm getting pretty darn close to being finished with the Signarii Ruins level of the game. It's by far the biggest level in the game, and I think it's turning out pretty good. I'm really liking the way that it's looking. Only thing, there's a couple things that I need to finish on it. For one, I need to make sure that the rocks, the pillars go all the way down. So if the player falls off, they're not gonna just see empty void. And then I need to polish out this section over here. It's still kind of rough. And then lastly, I need to connect it back to the main section of the cave, which if I go here, I'm just gonna go through here. So the main section of the cave is over here. And then they will emerge somewhere around here. If I look going here, here's like a pathway here. It's gonna emerge around here, and then they'll jump up here, and this will lead to the spider boss fight right here. So that's what I'm working on currently. As you can see, I'm starting to make my way back here. Basically need to fill in all this area right here and then lead it back over here. And then that will pretty much be it for the Signarii Ruins part. Let's see. And if anyone's watching this, make sure to leave a comment so I know if there's any issues. Because right now I'm kind of just winging it. Okay. So what I can do, just kind of give you an idea, give you a quick little tour. So here we are in the ruins. Actually, I'm going to teleport myself to a different location.
Wow. Now that's a face only only a mother could love.
Unrecorded scenarios.
Great.
Just kind of have to pass this area to get to it.
Something big is coming.
Okay. And I know I didn't mention it in the videos, but actually I'm working on controller support, which I'm really excited for. It's feeling pretty good to play. I initially tried to set it up with the DualSense controller, but it is an actual pain in the ass to like get it set up and working in Unreal. That, and they don't allow you access to the rumble features. So I went out and bought my first Xbox controller. I haven't had an Xbox controller since the 360 area. So yeah, I do like the controller. It's pretty nice. But I got all the rumbles working now. And then let's just kind of make our way over here. So when they're playing through the game, they're going to go through this cave section and then walk through this waterfall part. And then, they'll get to collect crystals. Hop down here. So they'll kind of like first emerge here and get their first kind of glimpse at the ruins they get to explore. So the first kind of like main crystal to interact with is going to be this one right here. And this will kind of give, story, details, what happened to the Signari. And then they'll just start exploring and try to figure out how to get to the section over there. So the kind of like, the crystals are kind of like the sprinkling of a hint of where to go next in the game. So they'll kind of see those crystals in the background and try to find a way to get over there. Make their way over here. Save area. We'll have to fight a couple of the spider creatures. So this area is still very rough, hasn't been fleshed out yet. So they'll make it over here. So over here is where they will acquire the grapple hook off of this dead patrol officer. And then right here is where they'll collect enough crystals to acquire the Paradoxium gauge power. So they'll be able to hop up here. And I haven't messed with this yet, so I'm hoping grapple is working. Is. Goodness, almost fell off. So there's actually two ways they can get over to this section. You can do it the way I just showed you, or let's say acquire the grapple hook. Be able to just come back up these stairs here. Grapple up just like that. And then to continue on. Come up here. So this is kind of how they'll get to the next area. And pretty much just fall off the cliff here. Okay, So that kind of catches you up to where I'm at. Let me just double check and make sure this thing is actually live or not. It says upcoming. Okay, it's live. Question is it listed as public or private? I have no idea if this is getting out there or not. Okay, it's live. Okay, it is public. Okay. All right, so let's start building out this section here. And I wanted to have some water over in this section, so I've already added in the plane. The question is, do I want them to continue going along this path and then drop down into the water, or have them drop down over here and then just kind of work their way this way? I think I'm honestly kind of okay with where it's at right now, where they can just drop off here, but I need to add some ground. Let's copy one of these. Make sure I'm in the right level here. Why is it okay? Okay, I am. Cool. So copy it a couple of times. So level design is by far the hardest thing for me. I can code all day and have no problems, but coming up with like good level flow, you know, how things look visually, or I really suck at gray boxing. Like if I try to like just gray box something, it doesn't ever get very far. And then sometimes I try to use my whiteboard to like plan out some level design, but I find it's only useful in some cases. Like it was really useful for my game Lockdown that I developed, where it was a lot more linear. Um, but for something where it's like a Metroidvania, where you want there to be exploration and backtracking and stuff, I think designing with actual assets and just trying to pull the image that's out of my head works the best for me. Only thing that's unfortunate is that it's very time consuming. So, I'm very picky about the way something looks. So if I don't like it, I place it in and then remove it. But we're getting there. We're making good progress. So we got some ground here. And you want to copy as many pieces as you possibly can within a level, because you can do what's called instancing, where it'll basically take one object, treat several objects as one if you do instancing. So try to recycle as many assets as I possibly can, and then still debating whether I want to do instance static meshes for the whole level, or if I want to also utilize nanites, and I think that'll just come down to the final test for it, and just have to see. Okay, we got some ground here. I'm going to rotate this. So that it's not sticking up out of the water, because we already have that piece over there. Okay. We go. We got some ground underneath the water. And then let's go ahead and then put some walls here. So I'm just going to copy this piece over here. Whoops. Imagine the player coming through here. Let's do that orientation. I think that one works nice. I think that will work. We're starting. I have to move the water plane a little bit. Okay. I'm also going to have to add in a little bit of camouflage to hide this wall tiling. I think that works. I think this is a different piece here. Blow it up a little bit. Okay. I'm going to worry about lighting later. I just kind of want to fill this section out first. And you can surprisingly get away with a lot with repetitive pieces, especially with something as jagged as rocks. People, if you have them bunched together close enough, they have a hard time realizing that they're the same piece. Or you just, if you're clever with them, people won't notice. Okay. Do I want to have any kind of light coming through here? That's another question I'm going to have to figure out. Probably not with this section. Start curving it in a little bit so I can make a ceiling. That will work. Okay. And do I have a water volume here already or not? That is a question. I don't think I do. Let's double check here. I do not. So let's put one in so we can have our water audio. Let's copy this one. Make sure it doesn't go into an area we don't want it to. How far is it into the rocks here? Oh, that's actually perfect. Okay. Let's kind of figure out the area first and then we'll bring it down. So let's do something like that. Looks good. Make sure it's level with the water plane. It's okay if it's a little above it. That'll help me see it a little better. Okay. So let's hop in and hey, what's up, dude? Thanks for stopping by. Does everything seem to be working, like the audio and whatnot? Is there like a good lag to it, do you know? Let's see if he replies or not. Is there power to get up there? Screen this. Oh wow. So the water's definitely pretty deep over here. Sounds fine. Okay, cool. How's the video quality? Is it like smooth or laggy? Okay, good. Awesome. Whoa, that was crazy. Oh wow, the volume. If I come over here, it's going to trigger the volume. Okay, and I'm stuck on the ground, so got to figure that out. Where is my volume? My level streaming volume. A little grainy. Okay. Yeah, I'm still like trying to figure out, all the settings and whatnot for it. A little laggy. Yeah, I kind of expected that since I'm working down in my basement, my internet connection isn't nearly as good as upstairs. So I might try relocating upstairs for the next stream just to see how it goes or if it improves the internet at all. But I don't know if you saw that. The level streaming volume was making this building pop in and out. Well, that's good. Dude, I don't know why it looks so bad on Discord whenever I try to stream. But yeah, I mean, if it's looking better on here, that's awesome. Could also be like settings, I haven't like messed with any Discord settings, so yeah. So let's see. Post process volumes. I need. So that's my cave intro volume. I'm wondering if the volume that these are in, is there We're in the cave volume, and that's why they're... Yeah, okay, that makes sense. So let's copy those. Let's say it should be loaded here. Oh no, okay, there it goes. We're just going slow. Let me raise this ground piece a little bit. How's your day going, dude? You work on your car game at all? So now the building should stay in there. And those are all on the persistent level. That's good. So right now, I haven't merged them all together, but I do plan on doing that. Like whenever, I'm ready to like actually push it. And I'm still debating if I should do like instant static meshes for everything, or if I should try to do nanite. Just keep it to nanite. With the amount of things in the level, I'm kind of leaning towards sticking with nanite. Nice. First up 4 vehicles in like 20 minutes with the master blueprint. That's awesome, dude. And like I saw that new feature you added in Discord. That's pretty cool. My cat's clowning. And so you kind of built it so that it's like more modular, where you can just kind of merge something that doesn't reuse the same material file. It's a good question. So here's the problem with merging meshes, dude, is if you merge a mesh, you lose your LODs, I believe. So like if I were to like take my building mesh here and I made it into all these building pieces and I turn it into one mesh, if it tries to auto generate the LODs, it might turn out like absolute shit. Make a static mesh of the building. It saves an instance of each material. So you tested it out. My cat. So is that kind of what you'd recommend with this? Like merge everything together? I don't know. I kind of want to do some testing. So this level isn't particularly like small though. Because like when you're first like stepping into the level, you'll be around like right here, and so that building is relatively far. It's at least far enough to like make the LOD one pop, Endless list of materials. Okay. Yeah, because it does merge all the material. Like it keeps the material instance, but it almost creates like a list of them. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. So currently, I haven't made a build in a long time, but I do plan on making one soon just to kind of see where the performance is at. The only thing, so last time I made a build, it was running above 60 frames per second with Nana and everything, but the GPU was like the consumption of it was pretty high. So I did a little bit of research into it, and that's when they said doing instant static meshes could be better.
Yeah.
That cat's crazy. was I? Right here. Okay. So, like this section, I want there to be, so basically I have two different types of small spider creatures. Ones that are just kind of like the regular ones, and then ones that have crystals on them. So here's like the crystal one. And so like with the lore, it's like the spiders had started to like use the crystals or like incorporate them into their biology. And like whenever the player comes into this section, that's what they'll kind of encounter. So they'll be a little bit different than the spiders in from the rest of the game. So let's start bridging this section together. Build the master and most every feature any vehicle is going to need, and then expand on it as needed. For sure. Like, do you feel like you're pretty close? Like, so you got your winch system working, right? I know we're gonna try to figure it out like on slopes and stuff. Did you get that figured out? Right. Yeah. Make every car possessable. I'm kind of curious if you could just like designate classes for each car. Like or if you want to do like in terms of like the things that go with it, like the lock picking and whatnot. Oh, nice. That's cool. Build the tow truck. Gotcha. Down a little bit. I don't want the water to come through this section, so I'm gonna have to channel it somewhere. I'm thinking maybe channeling it like over here. And in that case, I would raise this ground a bit. Yeah, make you children of the master, and then do it that way. Other trucks based on their class, right? That would totally work. We think is doing this. Make it a little smaller. A couple different ones. I can make children for other trucks based on that class. So if I make any crazy changes, I'm only doing it one time in the master. Right. No, that for sure. Thanks, dude. Yeah. it's been a lot of experimenting, trying to figure things out. Before I was trying to use like my whiteboard to like come up with like, how to design the levels so that like, the player acquires this first and then I'll hint to this and then, they need to go here. But like, try as I might, I couldn't get it to work. So I really do just work better, just kind of hopping in and then trying, experiment with placing things and then just kind of going off the image that's in my head. But I think I've laid it all out in a way that makes sense. And yeah, it's definitely getting there. Reference photos. Been in plenty of stores, never had to build. Yeah, for sure. Like it's funny, like whenever you try to like, it's like the bicycle thing you were telling me about a while ago, where you tell someone to draw a bicycle, and then they'll like completely botch it, like just based off of what their image is in their brain. Yeah. So reference is always good. With something like this where it's just kind of organic and kind of be a little more, it's a little more loose with how you design it. I can get away without, get away with not using references, but for stores and stuff, 100%. It's like, I come from an animation background and like references everything. You want like an action to look good, you actually have to find like either record yourself performing the action as a reference or go find a good, clip online somewhere. For environmental design, sort of like color theory, there's a method to what they were doing. Oh yeah, for sure. And I already have some like classes that I've purchased off of like Humble Bundle and stuff. Yeah, they're definitely useful. Um, so I kind of want to do something like this. And you said that you had gotten C++ classes. Have you been working on those at all? It's like I'm pretty familiar with like color theory when I, go into art school and stuff. I learned all that, and back in like my editing days too. Um, Not yet. Life has been crazy. I do a lot of research. What free time I have, like in terms, they use basic rules, things like that. Gotcha. Oh, do you? Yeah, I should hop into like more Discord channels that are development focused. I'm in a couple, but not a whole lot of them. I'm not a huge fan of how the ground's looking. I'll probably do some things to make it look a little better. Well, for sure. Yeah. definitely learning from other people's mistakes. Um, like I can't tell you how valuable working on lockdown was for me. Um, not just in terms of like the multiplayer replication stuff, but just like what it takes to actually like make a full game. You know, it's like and like places of where you should look first, you know, if you're trying to like find something that you need um, before you slam your head into the wall, you know, trying to figure it out on your own. Just gonna delete that one. But I feel like once I finished lockdown and started working on other projects, like regular developing regular games just became easy mode for me. It's like, oh, I don't have to worry about, you know, multicast and, you know, all the shit that goes along with that. Dude, 100%. 100%. One tiny little feature you think, oh, it's not a big deal, and then it just like you have to recode everything in your entire game. Um, like big thing for me was like the paradoxium crystals and whatnot. Like, oh my gosh, there's so much I had to go through and change every single enemy so that you know whenever you do the dimension trap, it affects enemies all differently. You know, so it's like you hit one enemy, you know, they trapped for you know like 5 seconds. Where if you hit another enemy, they stay trapped for you know 7 seconds, and it's yeah, it's a whole lot of work. And just going to use those as placeholders there. Literally just going to copy this. But yeah, it is a miracle that any game gets finished. I'd say especially if you're working on it solo. Or it's like I'm sure you learned this lesson too pretty early on, where it's like trying to make you know you have these grand ideas of the games that you want to make, like you know like CRISPR for me, right? And it's like you know I want all these mechanics and stuff, and then once you actually go to develop it, it's like holy shit, this is going to take me 10 years to finish this game. Um, so yeah, definitely like I'd say this rule is kind of an exception for me because there's still like there's a lot of mechanics to it, but I think going forward, I'm going to try to make games that have maybe like one really good and really solid mechanic instead of a game with a whole bunch of different mechanics. It's like oh, what's the YouTube channel? It's like there's this YouTube channel with a couple of developers on it, and they made this game called Unicycle Pizza Time, and I think it was just him, like the main person, and maybe 2 or 3 other developers. And like in that game, like it's just one mechanic. Like you're just riding like a unicycle and you're delivering pizzas, and it seemed like it did pretty well. And I know I'm sure they're following on YouTube to help them, but like you know, one simple mechanic that's if it's fun and there's replayability to it, I think that's all you really need to make like a good game. You know, Fight Me Games. That's it. Yeah. Do you watch them? I watch them from time to time. I might expand this area out a little bit. So it's not so narrow, but just for now, I think I'm gonna start with this. They made, what other games did they make? They released a new one. I know they made like a horror game where you're like in an office. Uh, yeah, but they are definitely, yeah. They kind of have, a complex to them. It's like, I think that tends to happen with people that have a big following on YouTube is the ego starts to kick in a little bit. I came back when they came out with videos saying they were very wrong and that they have no idea what they're doing basically. They're good dudes. Just going through growing, yeah. Like I think they're good dudes for sure. And I think they genuinely do try to help other people with their knowledge. Like, I mean, just simply sharing it online is a big help for people. Um, you know, how their games did, what lessons they learn, and whatnot. Um, yeah, I think they're just trying to like find their own place as well. I know they had posted a video saying that they were kind of like they weren't really that profitable yet, in terms of their games because they have multiple people to support. And they kind of flip flop back and forth whether they want to work on smaller projects or bigger ones. Okay, we're starting to build this out here a little bit. I just want to hop in and see what it looks like right now. Obviously, this whole area is going to be a whole lot darker once I finish putting in the cave roof, but let's give it a shot. Oop, my controller went to sleep. There we go. I got all the. So yes, what do you say? 12K for Unicycle Pizza Time. I mean, like, so it's not like like a blockbuster hit by any means, but like when you know the stats of like how, what was it like? 70% of games on Steam don't make over $1,000. I mean, I might be wrong on that number, but I know it's something like that. It's like if you compare it to that, then it was relatively successful. Few months to make. Yeah, like I feel like it was less time than 2 months to make. But yeah, I mean, for the type of game that it is, I could see that like that seems about right for me, especially if they already have since they're just building one core mechanic, I think most of their time is probably spent just on level design. This isn't too bad. I kind of like the spaciousness of this section. Oh, I fell off the cliff. Okay. So we put some walls up there. Let's see. Thanks for hanging out with me on the stream, though, dude. Appreciate you coming by. Okay, so far you're the only person who's joined it, so I have no idea if YouTube is actually pushing it out or not. But we will see. Whoops. For sure. It's up to Adam's discretion. Okay, there we go. I don't fall off the cliff. Sure, okay. Actually sure I went through though. Nope. Okay, getting there. Let's see. So one thing that I want to add to the game, like the full version of the game, is more collectible items. Just kind of like, treasure for people, people to find when they're playing, and then add achievements as well. Because I think for the demo, I think there's plenty there for the demo, but like I would definitely like to add more for the final game. What are some other like let's see, maybe artifact of some old alien race that shows somehow connected to all this? For sure. Like different kind of artifacts, maybe items that like um the Signari used and stuff. I think that would be cool to have. But like one thing that I would love to do though with it is if I have some kind of artifacts and stuff like that, like sure I'll have some that are more like that are just lore, where it's like kind of like a description text that people will learn off of. But I'd love to have it where they're actual like things that the player could use and they have different purposes. And that's kind of like my one critique of games like the Resident Evil games where you're collecting items and stuff is you have all this documentation, but like it doesn't really serve any other purpose than just to give backstory. Okay, we're almost connected. This side dark. I think 1 or 2 more pieces to fill it in. Second story piece by piece, whether or not around and how things look bad. For sure. So, like, that kind of reminds me of the game Returnal. When I played that, it's like the more that you play, you're essentially gathering like symbols of like the aliens' language, and then I think at the end you can actually start seeing what the aliens what it says on like the monoliths and whatnot. And I like that. That's pretty cool. Some kind of implementation that way. Okay, we are connected. I might change out those wall pieces. We'll see. Hey, look at that. It's all connected now. Okay. Maybe they had some good intentions and something bad happened. I like to think how Subnautica does it. See, I really need to like replay Subnautica because I played it but I didn't finish it. And like I was one of those weirdos that just like went online to like look at lore videos. So I know like most of the lore behind it, but I need to like actually experience it myself. But yeah, it's not even like I enjoyed like when I played a bit. I think I got distracted and never finished it. Where you can seek out lore, but it's not so it's like optional, right? Yeah, for sure. It's kind of the same thing with Dark Souls too. You know, all like the different items that you can get. It's like they hide them in places, and if you find them, then that's cool, and you have a better understanding of the story and stuff. But it's not like required. For sure. But I think in that case, I actually do want to replay Subnautica. I've heard there's been a lot of drama over Subnautica 2, though. Like something, like the developers got screwed over or something. I need to look more into it. I think SkillUp posted a video talking about it recently. Can't go through the walls. Yeah, I need to like close this section here where the lights are. Subnautica on mobile? Like Subnautica 2 on mobile or the first one? Krafton tried to scoop the devs out of $250 million bonus. Yikes. That's pretty crazy, dude. But yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off. The first one. Gotcha. Interesting. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of Balatro on mobile, so maybe I'll get it for mobile. I think like mobile for Balatro is like the best way to play it with like the touch screen ability. It is as compared to like playing it on PC or whatnot. But yeah, I haven't played it, but I take your word for it. It's surprising how well I think with like Subnautica, like their art style is pretty simple, you know. So I think they'd have an easier time doing optimization for mobile and stuff. Like I don't think this game will ever come out on a mobile device, just with how like graphically intense it is. Um, oh, is this my water volume here? It's way too far if that's the case. Let me click on it. There it goes. Wow. I think is it the X or the okay, it's the Y. You know what I heard, dude? Is that Unreal is gonna change the axes for like what's up and down in Unreal for like the next version of it. Like because they call like the vertical axis the Z axis in Unreal, but in other programs I believe it's the Y axis. So I think Unreal is like adapting to it. So I've like seen like a couple of memes going around of just like people like no because they're so used to it. So fix the water volume, ceiling. Gonna be interesting. Scooch these together. I think I kind of want them to tilt upwards a little bit. And tilt these ones too. New code they're trying to create? Like Epic? Or is this something different? It's interesting. I wonder what the reasoning is, if it's like more simplified or if it's like easier to understand or there's less hurdles to it. I don't know. Yeah, that works. Kind of making the ceiling higher. Oh, interesting. So instead of using C++, yeah, I think that's a common complaint um, from people that are trying to get into development is that C++ is just difficult to learn, or it's like not as intuitive as C+. So they might be trying to address that. Mm-hmm. Should probably save it. It's been a while since I've saved it. Okay, cool. Now, I think I'm gonna hold off on putting the ceiling in for now, at least. And wow, that's got a really big radius. I don't want it that big. This is for like the caustics, this light. I kind of want to add a few more of those in here. That's too close. Something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna save the ceiling for last for sure. That I might add some more ground in here instead of so much water. But we'll see. I think I will add some ground here though. Okay, it's not button into anything, I don't think. There we go. All right. I think that is a good place for that right now. I think I want to work on something else next. Gonna keep hopping along. Let's see what's next on my list here. Let's see. I have a lot of different cosmetic things that I want to add to the game. Um, so I wanted to replace the reticle for the arcade mode with a different reticle. That won't take too long. Let's see. I wanted to add some of those crystals to Magnus boss fight area. Show you like my list of things that I've like knocked out here. So like everything that's in like purple, red, and orange are like all the different tasks that I have completed within like the last couple weeks. Which is just like so much stuff that's been done, dude. But then this is like all the stuff that I want to. This is kind of like my completion list here. Nerd. Get nerd. Let's see. Every game needs a super convoluted Easter egg. For sure. Where it's like ridiculous that anyone would ever figure it out. Yeah, 100%. It's funny, there was that game Animal Well that came out that was made by one guy, and there's like Easter eggs in there that he thought like no one would ever find, and like I think it was like days after the game came out, people had already figured it out, like different puzzles and stuff that were like really obtuse. Let's see. I think let's take care of that medical real quick. Let's do that next. Might have to find it. I don't know if it's already installed or not. Dying Light had a crazy one. What was that one? Talking about the first Dying Light or the second one? I need to do a search in. Oh, maybe I need to type UI instead of. Let's see here. I got them a while ago. Oh goodness, am I gonna have to like look through all my assets? Let's try to go to the UI tab. No, that's not it. Have we seen that or Cyberpunk? Had to do with evil rubber ducks and some other stuff. Okay, yeah, like send me a link in the Discord later so I can check it out. I love kind of weird, crazy Easter eggs in games. One of my favorite ones is in, I believe it's Dead Space 2, where if you beat the game on like the hardest difficulty, I believe you unlock this like, it's like, you know, those like, you know, the hands, like the rubber hand, not rubber, but the foam hands that you like, people bring to like concerts and stuff or like sporting events. So it's like a hand like that, I believe. I could be wrong, but I know that like when you it's like a gun and you shoot it, like Isaac goes bang and it's like extra powerful. But like it's an unlockable too, so it's pretty awesome. Uh, where? Okay, that's gonna take me forever here. Okay, if it's gonna take a long time, I guess I'll move on to something else and save that for later. Let's see what else is on the list. Okay, let's add some crystals to the boss fight area. This would actually perfect here. Gonna make sure it's in the mountain section. Oh, final boss. There we go. That's what I need. Okay. These are too big. I don't want them to be that big here. Oh, for sure. They are really fun. Okay. So I think what I want to do and make. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. The static mesh of it. Put it in certain sections. And at this point in the game, people will already have the ability, so there's no need to continue collecting crystals, so they won't try to. There we go. I don't want to be too crazy with them, just kind of like certain sections here and there. Yeah, maybe more so just kind of like in crevices. I might end up removing these, but I just wanted to try it out, see how it looks. As lore-wise, you know, the crystals form near powerful paradoxes, so I imagine the highest concentration of them would be where Magnus is at. Bigger than others too. You running around like a crazy child. Keep going with it, and then reserve judgment till I'm where I think it would be good. Really dark area. I need a. Yeah, that's one thing I was experiencing. Like sometimes Magnus will go over here and he'd be hard to see since he's kind of dark as he is. So I need to add some more light. Okay, so set it stationary. The thing is, I don't want it to be too bright over here. Just light enough, I think. Yeah, I think that will do. Yeah. What kind of attack you thinking? So that's one thing that I might change before the like final release. Is to give him a new set of attacks. Light, medium, and heavy attack. For sure. So like his so let's see. So he's got like a rush attack where he kind of like charges you and like knocks you to the ground. And it's like a relatively fast attack. He has the attack where he shoots like kind of like a fury of small projectiles at you, and that one's kind of like the hardest one to avoid just because it kind of follows you. Then there is his so there's those two. There's this big AOE attack. We can find out exactly how many attacks he has. So there's this push attack, this projectile attack. Let me just see. So that one is one I was planning on adding. I haven't added it in yet. I think that's one that I could definitely add in, kind of like a larger kind of like fireball instead of like the smaller ones. That'd be a good one. And then there's the push attack, rapid fire. That's his AoE attack, and this is his radiation burst. You don't see it again because the last time more like the flourish kind of attack. Yeah, I can play it real quick. There's still one small bug with Magnus where he'll sometimes play the same attack twice if you do a dimension trap at the wrong time. I need to fix that. Let's do 4. Yeah, I feel like if I'm gonna do the crystals, I need to put a shit ton of them, and not just have them sparse like that.
Paradox signature. That's actually impressive.
Can you hear the game audio?
The Signari left behind more than ruins. They left possibilities. Doors that were never meant to stay closed.
What about the grapple point?
The Signari also yeeted themselves.
You
Yeah, I'm gonna skip through this dialogue.
the artifact.
So you know that
Those were the
reality
weak.
the three others.
Enough.
The only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
Oh, the grapple could be louder, like the audio. Wait. Oh, okay, the audio could be louder. Okay. So here's this AoE attack. It's dimension trap ability.
I can't turn.
Dimensional tomorrow is mine.
Got lucky there. So I need to add in the audio for this dialogue here. This is where he unlocks the reversal mechanic. Just gonna skip through it. Oh, I haven't mapped that to controller yet. Here, I'll just here we go. Okay. Charge it up. Oh, there's the bug. Yeah. There's the double up. Yeah. Couple bugs we gotta fix there. Yeah, I agree. I think you could use a couple more attacks actually. Let's do. All the exterminators? What? I'm lost. Okay, let's implement this attack. Should be relatively straightforward. Where's the at though? Oh, went right over my head. Yeah, indeed. Okay. So here's the attack sequence right here. This array right here is what holds the different attacks for the data table. So, okay, I'm just gonna add one here. And I believe it's attack 1. Yeah. And then I need to figure out where in the sequence I want him to perform it. So he does his push attack first, and then he begins strafing. Then he does another push attack, strafing, attack 3, which is his rapid fire attack. And then he does his AoE attack, and then he does a radiation first. So I would probably put this, he does the first push attack, second push attack. I'd probably put it right after his second push attack. Keep players on their toes. So he'll like do his push attack, then turn around, and then that's when he'll try to do his large attack. And then one thing I need to check is projectile attack. This one. I have to create a new Anim Notify event in rapid attack. This one right here, and this one calls. So this is playing the audio. Play SFX. Zoom in here. And Elhand projectile. Projectile spawn location left hand. Projectile location. Okay, so this is where it's spawning at. Essentially just setting the transform and then it's spawning the projectile. So I need to create another entry on the enumerator, which is the BBI AI. E projectile type. I could spell. Small, medium, large, honing, burst. And which one is that one spawning? I'm assuming it's spawn location. I must be setting. Okay, that's where I'm setting it. And small projectile. That's located. Beat him up. Anim notifies final boss. Large projectile. Projectile and medium projectile. This one being used at all? Because if it's not being used, then I'm going to use that for the new one. So let's real quickly check these out. So this one uses small projectiles. This one is using. Love the voice. Okay. This one's using arc projectiles. Okay. So I'm going to use medium projectiles for this one. Make it uninterruptible. I'm going to do stay put. No need to teleport the boss. Okay. We'll do AN medium projectile. Set the type. It's going to have to be some kind of like gathering effect for it before he tosses it. And then for the spawn location, okay. The final boss. It was spawn location. Did I already open that up? I don't think so. There we go. So we'll do medium or our hand medium. A meteor attack. I mean, I think this one would pretty much be. You're talking about like multiple meteors. It's like one big one because I kind of imagine this one being like one big one. I could set up a kind of attack like that. I'd have to create like a specific blueprint with like an array of like spawn locations for it for each different projectile. Which wouldn't take too long. I think it just depends on what exactly. I mean, because he already has this one kind of big AoE attack, so I feel like I don't want to like overdo that. Just have like one that the player has to try to avoid. And I think I just want to focus on like a medium-sized projectile for this one, where it's like bigger than the smaller ones, and you actually have to try to avoid it. Maybe have it move kind of slow. Okay, so I got it in right hand medium. So then in medium projectile. And I suppose I could literally just do it that way too. Set the location along with it. This is right hand medium, spawn medium. That's an idea, having the pillars be destructible. I'd have to convert them into physics objects. And then set up a trigger for whenever it gets hit for it to fall apart. I don't know. Maybe. I'll have to experiment with the idea. Because I do want the player to be able to take cover with them, because it kind of like helps block the projectiles, but we'll see. Okay, so we're setting the location. So now I need to actually create a socket in the skeletal mesh where I want it to start at. Actually, because he has his absorption effect that he plays with it when he does the radiation burst. Maybe I'm going to look at this as a reference. Okay. So start radiation burst and absorption. I think that's what I'm looking for is an absorption. Okay. Energy absorption VFX. I think I can just put that in with the attack animation. Like right there is where I'd want it to start. And absorption. Let's see something real quick, dude. Okay. All right. So we got our absorption here. And then I'm going to stop the absorption like here. So when he actually fires the projectile. Okay. I still need to set the spawn location for it though. So set projectile type. Okay, and this is setting the projectile class here. Which I hadn't changed. This will be the medium class. I'll have to create a blueprint for that. Blueprint weapon. I'm going to create a child. Well, that's one medium projectile. Yeah, I do want to get the demo out for sure. Also, don't want to. I need to do more playtesting. So I might even send it over to you to have you playtest it a little bit. So I need to change the movement speed. Definitely. That's for sure. Well, the thing is, like, you know that saying, like, it's your game is never really finished. Even if it's finished, it's not finished because you can always, add more and more to it. And it's, like I want it to be solid for the demo. I want people to have fun with it and be able to like experience what the game is all about. So I just want to make sure the demo is solid. That's all. Let's reduce the speed pretty drastically. I'd say like 2,000 instead of 10,000. We'll do 5,000. Yeah, it's really hard to. What's crazy, dude, is like, when I made the game for the game jam, and it was playable, right? Like, obviously, like there was a couple of bugs in there, game breaking bugs, but long since fixed those. But like it was playable back then, and it's still playable now. But I've added so much to it that it's like going through and making sure that like it all works together, and it's just so hard. Okay, so we got our medium projectile. Where's it at? Setting it here. Now I need to create one for him actually firing the projectile. I have anim notified here. So that is his radio projectile. Use this. It's kind of unorganized at the moment inside of my AI blueprint. I just went through the other day. What do you get by beating Magnus? So once you beat Magnus, that's the end of the game. It'll show you like, that's another thing I need to work on is like the stat screen, like how well you did, like what letter grade you got for the game. So you'll get to see, how many, collectibles you got, how many enemies you killed, bosses you killed. So right now, I mean, there's only two main bosses in the game. There's the spider boss, and then there's Magnus. And I don't imagine you getting anything special after beating the spider boss. There is like a special object that I plan on having where if you find it, it'll help you in the boss battles, which is like the Signarian shield, which you can find in the ruins. But um, yeah, I mean, maybe for Magnus, but I mean, you already acquire like the ability that Magnus has before you even meet Magnus. So I don't think, at least in the demo, you won't get anything special. But maybe for the larger game, once you defeat bosses, you'll get special things. And I'm still debating if I want to do more like gaining like XP and stuff for beating enemies. If I want to do some kind of leveling system or not. In like most games in this genre, there aren't any kind of. I mean, you think of like Hollow Knight and stuff where you can collect different objects, but it's more so through, finding them in the environment and stuff where, yeah, even like Metroid, there isn't really like a level up system per se. So I don't know. And I don't want my game to be exactly like those games either. Like, I do want to have some RPG elements to it, but I don't think that I want progression to be done that way. Or keep it more so like skill based rather than special items you acquire from bosses or whatever. Your innovation in this genre is inspiring. Once I get the basics of game dev, it inspired me to take on my own shot at 360 side scroller mechanic. That's awesome, man. And thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I mean, I hope just by doing something different, it inspires other people to say like, hey, I don't have to like abide by the rules of the genre or whatnot. So That's cool to hear. And I'd love to see other people try, implementing, 360 side scroller into their games. Like I don't want to like gatekeep or anything. So if anyone else wants to take it on, like by all means, I'd love to see what people do with it. Let's see, I got fire projectile event here, and I set up the projectile actor. Where did I set up at? I'm getting lost. Give me 1 second. I think it was one before this. Here we go. The projectile class. Here we go. So let's see. King Guffley. So what engine do you develop in King Guffley? Here we go. Projectile spawn transform. Actually think I need to get the player's location. There we go. With this, we'll do a make transform. Oh, cool. So you use Godot? Nice. Let's see, I've heard good things about Godot, good and bad things, where it's like maybe it's harder to kind of get going with Godot, but that the fact that it's completely free and like there's a growing amount of support for it. I don't know how accurate. I feel like that's what I've heard about it. Any transferable tips you have for programming side of things? Huh. Tips. That's a good question. I would say so. So you're just starting out. I would say definitely join like Discord servers and Facebook groups and try to make friends with people in the development community, especially that are more centered around the game engine you're working in. So I'm sure there's like Facebook groups for Godot developers. So definitely get help that way, but also in terms of like resources and stuff, try to find Discord communities as well. Would love. Okay. Yeah, for sure. It's good that we live in an age where we don't have to pay thousands of dollars to be able to develop games. So it's a good time to be a game developer, even though, or an indie game developer. I know the kind of larger AAA space is struggling, but we're doing all right. You look at rotation. That the scale at 1. And let's see. And then I'm kind of curious. I like so there's stores like Fab that I know have plenty of Unreal and Unity assets. I'm kind of curious if there are kind of any like asset marketplaces for things like Godot, because I think that's one thing that helped a lot when I was starting out is simply getting some cheap assets and just taking a look at the code and seeing how people put stuff together. Because I think So a lot of times people fall into like tutorial hell when they're first starting out. Like they'll start by following a bunch of tutorials, but then they end up not really learning a whole lot because they know how to do it, put together stuff in a specific way that was inside that tutorial. But if you actually take a look inside of like the code base, you can see how people, their thought process, like what led them to put code together that way. And so I think that'd be a good thing to look into is just trying to find some cheap assets and taking a look at them to get started. That ignore collision. Call this medium projectile vector. So it spawns it, and then trying to remember for sure. Definitely look into it. Like I'm gonna do a quick search to see if Fab has any Godot assets because I'm just curious now. It's the from what I can tell on the, just the first initial search, I'm not seeing anything. But let's see. Where can I purchase Godot assets? Okay, so there is a thing called Kinney's assets, and I know I've gotten a couple things, Kinney assets before, and I think those were actually for Unity, but it looks like they might have some stuff. Oh, look at that! There's a Godot marketplace.com. That's cool. So I'm definitely like jealous. Like whenever I participated in the game jam, I've done 2 game jams, and in the Ludum Dare, there were so many entries of Godot created games. And what's really nice is like you have like the ability to just plop it right on the like web page, and you can play it right there. Whereas with Unreal, you actually have to download the game, and so I think it definitely helps for visibility, and it's probably really good for things like mobile games too. Probably easy to develop for. Just reading your guys' comments. Yeah, trying to stay out of tutorial hell. Yeah, it's super easy to get caught in there, and I definitely did when I first started out as well. It's really cool. When I was first learning Unreal, one of the you know YouTube creators that I would follow and watch was Matt Asplund, because he has a bunch of like Unreal Engine development tutorials and stuff. And I had no idea that he even did game jams. So like once I discovered he did and made my entry to his jam, it's pretty awesome that I ended up winning the jam with the game. And it was cool. I got to actually like talk to him too in his Discord server, and he sent me, his assets that he creates and stuff. So that was kind of cool. Okay, so I got my firing logic done. It's gonna look towards the player and then spawn. And I believe I already have logic set up inside the master blueprint to make the projectile get destroyed. So let's see. I will say you'll definitely probably have an easier time learning that than Unreal. Unreal is very, very difficult to learn how to develop in. For one, there's just like less content out there that's geared towards developers, like compared to things like Unity and whatnot. Um, and it's just such a complicated program. Like there's so many different aspects to it, and trying to learn all of them is just overwhelming. Yeah, so right now I'm working on the boss AI. I just played against them a little while ago, and I'm putting in a new move set for him, kind of like a medium projectile attack. So that's what I'm working on right now. Um, I've got to. I'm setting the spawn location, setting the projectile type, and then I actually have to call spawn projectile. Take a quick look. And I'm notified. Final boss. Medium projectile. Take a look here. Setting location. Do the absorption effects. Stop the absorption effects. This is where I need to actually fire it. And let me take a quick look at the other animations, see what I'm doing with those. I think it's 3. And I think I just need to create a new anim notify event to call it from. So how many, let's see. Oh yeah, I'll definitely be using Claude to help. Yeah, Claude is definitely a good AI tool for sure. I usually had used OpenAI, but Claude seems to be giving better answers. So for sure, yeah, Unreal is a beast to learn. And how many games have I made before this? So I didn't have any prior programming knowledge. I come from an animation background, so I went to school for 3D animation and struggled to find an industry job. So eventually, I started doing game development, and from the 3D asset creation, that definitely helped transfer over. But like from the programming side, no, it didn't help at all. um, and let's see. So I made another game called Lockdown, which is a multiplayer horror free roam VR game. And I made that for the last place that I worked for called Flipswitch VR. And that was my first game I ever made was a multiplayer game. Do not recommend. Do not do that. You will be in a world of hurt if you try to do a multiplayer game for your first game. But I finished that game and it's on Steam right now. It has a couple issues because the funding got cut like at the very end, so there's just a couple of bugs inside of it. It's totally playable all the way through, but like there's one bug where if you're playing with multiple people, there's like a platform jitter, and so your other characters will kind of jitter. And so I'd love to fix it sometime. And I'm speaking to the previous or like the owner of the business to fix it. But yeah, I'm proud of that game. That was my first game. Um, and I have a bunch of different gaming projects that I've started but haven't finished yet. I have this big project called CRISPR, which is a Souls-like survival horror hybrid game that I've worked on for close to 2 years now in my spare time. And that's like one of my kind of like dream games, and I don't expect to be finished with that like anytime soon. Yeah, Claude is definitely a good resource for sure. I paid for a subscription, and I'm canceling my OpenAI one. Okay. So, okay, I'm gonna make a new notify event. Notify. There. Fire medium projectile. And then inside of here, I'm gonna call the blueprint event, which is fire projectile. There we go. Okay. So I think I have most of this set up. Don't have any sound effects yet in the animation. Right here. Oh, that's something I hadn't considered. Is it's going to be attached to his hand before he tosses it. So I need to spawn it. Well, I might need to spawn like two actors, one that spawns and is attached, and then when it actually fires the projectile, I hide that one and then replace it with that one. Okay, let's get a little more complicated, but we'll figure it out. Set it right here. That's where I'll spawn it. Notify. Fire medium projectile. And so when that fires, we're going to hide it, hide the first projectile. So the absorption. Okay, so what I can do here is I can set a Boolean once A and medium projectile gets called. That way, when absorption happens, it spawns that specific blueprint. Okay. I'm actually going to set it right here. Or just get, okay. Projectile spawn location. We can just promote this to a variable. Projectile spawn. And now I need to go to where it's calling the absorption effects. Calling energy absorption VFX. So if we do get projectile spawn, is it equal to right hand medium? And if it is, then we'll spawn the fake projectile actor. Spawn actor from class. Okay. Sorry if I'm not talking as much. I'm just really focused on trying to get this together. It's kind of complicated. More complicated than I expected. But that's just how it goes. No. So I need to create a new actor. Call this medium fake projectile. Yeah. Because we don't want it to be a projectile actor, because if we try to, like, cancel the projectile when it's spawned and just have it stay put, it doesn't like that. So we definitely want it to be a different actor. And I'll just use the same location as this absorb here. Put it. Add that to the spawn location. Promote this to a variable. Medium fake projectile reference. And then when we do fire projectile, we're going to destroy it if it's valid. And then spawn it. Print string. Medium projectile not valid. Uh-oh. Oh. Whoops. Let me copy this. Where's it at? So this is where it's actually firing the projectile from. I had a fake event happening there. Whoops. Where's this at? Okay, it's down here on the event graph. Copy, delete. Put the right one there. Okay, so what's it doing? It's getting the socket location, finding a look at vector for the character. Wait, is the mesh. Checked out rotation, scale, and then it fires it. So now I need to do get projectile type. Do a switch. Gonna make target valid. Setting on transform. Okay. So this is what we want to do. It's small, it's going to fire through there. So we're going to have to expand this out a little bit. Anyone still in the chat? Sorry if I'm boring you, trying to figure this out. There we go. Hey, still there, huh? Haven't fallen asleep yet? That's good. Okay, so we got our medium here. So I think I'll just move this logic there. Music projectile reference. Yes, that still needs to be the same. Except for the spawn transform, I needed to get the what's it called? Energy absorption. Need to get this. For the starting location. Instead, we out here. We doing the dang thing. I can't wait to get this thing out there and let people play it and just get their feedback on it. See what they think of the controls and everything. Was beating my high school in the tutorial space shooter I made before I started on my own project. Tell me about your project, dude. So are you in school for let's see. Oh, so you're making a 2D roguelike side scroller? Nice. So today's your first day like starting on it. That's what's up. Stick figure style. Nice. Reminds me of the old that one stick figure like fighting flash game like way back in the day. Like do you mean like actual stick figures or just kind of like kind of simplified style? Nice. Oh, that's cool, dude. You should join my Discord. If I don't know if you already are a part of it or not, but you should join there and then share your work as you work on it. See, Styles, the pirate, he's in the Discord and he shares his work. He's working on a like he's working on a couple games. Like one of them's like a pirate game, and this other one is a like a car theft kind of game. And he shares that stuff in there. So you're post college, nice. Same here. Probably actual stick figures. Hey, I mean like that's the beauty of like video games is like as long as it's fun, like people don't even really care about the art style, you know? And it's like it just I think it's really just depends on how, you know, pretty or polished you want to make it because there's a ton of games out there that are, you know, less than amazing looking and they still do amazingly well. Or if you want, I mean, you could even use something like Cinti assets. You know, they're simple. Like Styles uses Cinti low poly assets. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Go check it out and keep me posted on your progress. I'd love to see it. You probably won't understand some of the jargon that we talk about, you know, since we're Unreal developers in there. But hey, it's good to be connected. Oh, so it's Synty, I believe, is the spelling. Yeah. Or medium projectile. Okay, we're getting closer. It's funny, you work on something for like 2 hours, you don't even test it, and then just pray that it all works by the end of it. Save it. Okay, so now what I think I want to do, since I'm doing this setup now instead of the other way, is just simply setting the medium projectile actor class here. Problem is everyone uses them to make crap games. Or assets are cool, just everyone uses them so much people avoid them so they don't get judged. I don't care, I love their style, and my game will stand on its own merits and not what art assets I use. 100%. Yeah, don't let what other developers say dissuade you from doing what you want to do, you know? And like Josh said, or Style said, at the end of the day, it's as long as it's a good game, people don't care about the art style. I mean, like art style can definitely have like a visual appeal if you're trying to like hook someone in. I think that's like really only the main focus of um, putting a lot of focus on art style. So you basically want weapon gear swapping to be a core piece of the game, kind of like Breath of the Wild. Not getting attached to weapons and swapping based on what enemy is in front of you and what's available. Yeah, I like that aspect to game design. Like one of my favorite games is Returnal, and it's a roguelite, and it's the same thing. It's like each run is different, and you acquire different weapons. And I think having that like variety and not knowing what each playthrough is going to be like is where the fun factor is for that type of game. Where it's like, you have those runs where you get like the crappiest gear, but you still beat the boss, or like you have runs where you're like way overpowered and you just melt them. And I think that makes for really fun replayability. Like the game that's been giving me that recently is Balatro, because it's like a roguelike like deck builder. And so you get these Joker cards that have special abilities that can enhance your hand. And like I finally like got like the most OP like Joker hand build ever, and like just completely demolished the game. I didn't even know that you could beat the game until I did. I was like, oh shit. And then you unlock endless mode. That'd be a fun. I kind of want to do like a roguelike kind of project like that. I think that'd be fun to make. And shit, like I just gave styles a function that's like used for weighted rarities, like how often something spawns. So I mean, I already have the function for it. I would just have to think of what kind of game I'd want to make with it. Okay, got this. Where's it? Um, so I need to set the fake projectile actor class. So I need to create it real quick. So down here, weapons, blueprint, actor. Medium fake projectile. Oh, for sure. Like definitely like I think like, just one and done games have their place. Um, but especially if for, you're an indie game developer, having a game that people can replay is gonna have a lot more player retention. Like people are gonna want to play it more and more often. Because you inevitably run into the thing which I ran into this with my first game, because it's a pretty short game. It's more of like an experience game where you just kind of play through it one time. But people would play it, and if it's under the like 2 hour return limit, they'll just return the game. And so I had a whole bunch of returns on my first game. So that's another thing that people, can do to avoid, falling into that trap. So also keeps your eye on. Yeah, Humble Bundle's a really good place to look for assets too, 100%. They have some like amazing deals on there. And then so much of them are trying to hold on to players by adding content, something older games didn't have to do. And roguelites make you want to keep playing. No, 100%. Like you're talking about like microtransactions and like battle passes and stuff like that. Yeah, people are super over that. So yeah, I think yeah, definitely having some kind of roguelike game. And like you mentioned like old games, I think of games like Mortal Kombat, Deadly Alliance, where they had like whole crypt where they had a whole bunch of stuff for you to just unlock inside the game, and that's what would make you want to keep replaying it is to unlock everything. But you know, not these days. They had all sorts of microtransactions so they can profit off of you continuing to play. Okay, so I was working on and like roguelites have that like just one more run kind of factor to them. It kind of like feeds into the addiction a little bit. So this is going to be a Niagara effect. So we want it to auto activate. And now I need to find the effect for the projectiles. Small, slow. Here we go. Let me see what else I have. Ooh, I think that's exactly what I want right here. I might try to make the lightning effect less huge, but I think that is the right effect that I want. Let's go here, pop it in. And since this is the fake one, it doesn't need any collision on it. Yeah, I can tell that you like the like sandbox type of gameplay with your games. This is where people, kind of have mechanics and let people just have fun with them. And that definitely has a wide appeal too. Like, it's like what like makes Minecraft, a good game. We got this. Now we got to set it in here. That's not the one I want. Here we go. Ooh. There we go. Oh, for sure. I mean, we all have our preferences. Like I like kind of more like hardcore Souls like type of games with like the type of challenge that makes you want to pull your hair out. Maybe I'm some kind of masochist or something, but those are just kind of the games that I kind of gravitate towards. And I think each, just has their own audience. Figure best kind of game genre to make is the one, yeah, absolutely. Because at the end of the day, you're the one that's making it, so you have to enjoy what you're making, or else you'll go crazy. Shifting my chair a little bit. Okay, so I think I kind of want to try it. Well, first I need to open up the projectile, the actual projectile, and add that same effect. There we go. If I go, this is the right one, right? Why isn't it showing to me? There, this is the one. And that's projectile to lightning. That's the fake one. We're done with that. Here we go. Oh, so this one is the cascade particle. I need to add Viagra. Here we go. And that's fine. Okay, I forgot to attach it once it gets spawned. I'm just realizing. So it's on it. Now we need to attach it to the mesh at that location. Actor, view component. Absorb. We'll do snap to target. Snap to target. Keep full scale the same. Get our mesh here. Okay. I would say let's give it a whirl and see if it's broken or not. There we go. Gotta repair my controller. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna go to the location folder.
Dimensional cascade.
Class 7 paradox signature. That's actually impressive.
The Signari left behind warnings. They left possibilities.
The Signari also heated themselves. Funny how people skip that part.
You see extinction. I see transformation. They didn't die, Conway. They evolved
I'll just let
beyond
this
your
play out.
narrow comprehension of existence.
You know my name. That's either really good intel or really bad news for me.
The artifact shows me many things, including the 3 paradox wielders you've eliminated.
So you know this ends badly for you. And you're doing it anyway.
Those were crude attempts, desperate fumbling by inferior minds. But I have studied the Signari for decades. I understand what they understood. Reality is a cage, and I have found the key.
Reality's not a cage.
It's
It's a foundation.
And every time someone like
You tries to crack it. Innocent people get crushed in the rubble.
The weak cling to limitations. I transcend.
the
Three others said something simple.
Spoiler.
Spoiler,
They
they did it.
Enough with your meaningless rambles. Prepare to witness true evolution.
Only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
Alright. I definitely won't be going through all that again. I figured for the list. Uh-oh. Frozen. I think because I'm streaming, it is struggling a little more than it normally would. Well, shucks. That sucks. Alright. I guess I'm going to... I hope I saved before I started playing. I'm going to set it to like medium mode when I come back so it runs a little easier. In task. Okay. Yeah, you can see all the different projects I'm working on. There's a lot of them. I have my flying system, which is complete. That's on the marketplace. I have CRISPR here. I'm also working on a combat system, a Crash Bandicoot inspired runner system. I have another VR cyberpunk game called Hardlight Arena. A kind of space sci-fi game called Miracle Nobodies, which is based off of a short film that I had worked on a while back. And then I have another project called Talons, which is like related to eagles and stuff. And my turn-based RPG system. So yeah, I have a lot of stuff I'm working on. And somehow managing to have time to finish the demo for this game. But hopefully with, a little bit of, help or some financial help or funding, I'll be able to focus just on this game. That is the hope. Anyone still in chat? Yeah, it's kind of in my blood. I like to do hard shit. Okay. That sucks, it crashed. Yeah, I'm gonna set it to at least medium settings. What's weird though is the first time I played it, I didn't have any issues, so. And I don't think that I would have modified any code that would cause it to crash. So, I don't know, it's weird. Go back in that. I'm kind of curious, like how YouTube decides to like push streams and whatnot. How people like gain any kind of followers from streams. It's like when I went to set up the stream, the only option it really gave me for like category was like I chose the gaming, but you couldn't add tags or anything like that. So I'm just kind of curious how it works um, from that aspect. Okay, so it's all set to low settings. It'll probably look like garbage, but we're just gonna play it on low. Oh yeah, it looks so bad on low. Oh, having the controller issue again. XP? What are you referring to exactly? Oh man, okay. Wonder if yeah, whatever reason on the Xbox controller. Oh, what the hell? What just happened? I pressed the button on I think I'm gonna have to close. At the top of the chat, I can see XP amount says 225 XP. Okay, man. Yeah, it's all good if you need to go. Thanks for stopping by. It was fun having you. Let's see. Yeah, I have no idea what the XP means. I'll have to look into that. Maybe you need to like the more XP you gain, the more like YouTube promotes it or something. I have no idea. I'm making sure the controller is on this time. What the heck is going on here? Okay. Oh, adios, man. Have a good night. Taking a brief intermission as the project loads again. Hopefully the controller cooperates this time. I should know as soon as they hit play, because like before the character was just moving on its own. Okay. Oh, still have the issue. Okay. Well, I guess I'll just play it with keyboard and mouse. Gotta adjust the setting real quick. Got some kind of like idle kind of background music for the streams. Okay. controller. Set that to false. Display. That is so weird. I have no idea what is causing it to do that. I don't know if it still thinks the controller is plugged in. But you know what? I just need to see if the boss is working, so I think I'll just manage.
Dimensional Cascade event. Class 7.
It looks so bad on those things.
The Signarin of behind
Oh my god.
They left
He looks like a Lego toy or something. This texture.
You know my name, so you
the
the
Yep.
only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
Let's see if he does the new attack. Or if the game decides to freeze. That was weird. Okay. I have to change the texture or increase the streaming pool because I can't. It looks so bad. Set the streaming pool 5,000. I should get rid of the blurry textures at least. So I'll try not to die this time too.
Dimensional Cascade event. The Signari.
You see,
You know my name.
Oh, he still looks terrible, even with the texture streaming higher.
Reality's
the weak cling to
the three others.
enough.
Okay.
Only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
Alright, so he should do his new attack after the second dash. That's 1, 2, so he should be doing it right now. No. Okay, so he's not doing it. Let's see. So it's like it's not even in the queue for his attack list. Go here. Current attack sequence. So I have attack 1 right there. So why wouldn't it be playing? Not gonna worry about that. Is using attack sequence, so this is gonna be set true. Get the attack sequence index. If it's true, it's gonna be set to 0. It's gonna go through the first time. Attack sequence started. Sets it false, so then it's gonna go through here the next time. But for the first time, reach phase 2 is set false. It's getting a random. Okay. I think I need to do this. Attack sequence index. I'm trying to remember how exactly I set this up. It's been a while since I've prodded through here. I put it in current attack sequence right there. Each time he does an attack, it progresses it. And so this is pretty much just being negated here because it's supposed to be setting it here. So I'm thinking, at least for now, I'm just going to bypass all this because I think this is all logic that I had set up but never utilized. Let's keep it simple here. Let's get that. Scooch all this together. Check the wrong one. Okay. Now I'll do that. Get rid of that. Get rid of this as well. And then if I decide to do another phase, then I can just mess with that later. Now let's just be focused just on this one. Spelling is correct. And if we take a look at the data table, it is indeed attack 1. That animation is there. Let's try it again. Oh, you're back. I don't know how long you've been back. I had the screen minimized, so I wasn't able to see it for a little bit. I have no idea what's causing this drift. Like, even without the controller plugged in, the characters just moving towards the screen. I haven't changed any of the movement logic.
The Signori also,
You see,
you know my,
the art
so you
knows what
real, the three, only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
See, it didn't work the first time I tested it. I'm getting spanked. Oh, there it is. So we did play the attack. I didn't see the fake blueprint actor or the other actor spawn though, unless like the scale is just super tiny.
Shit, I can't.
I'll let him do it again. We'll see. It could have been a thing where like the asset just needed time to load and wasn't visible. There it goes. Oh, okay. So I saw the fake one spawn. Okay. Access none trying to read property player. And that's why it didn't fly in the right direction. Now why? Okay, it's enemy target, not player, that's why. I think that's just a remnant of some old logic. Okay, so that should work now. So the spawning worked, it spawned into its hand. However, this medium projectile here. Oh, I imported or I plugged in the wrong one. It's medium fake. What happened to it? It might have been due to the crash or something. So pop this in here. That effect. Oh, it's not being attached here either. Actor the component. Absorb. Snap the target, snap the target. Keep world scale. Okay, so now we need to go here, get the effect, plug it in, plug it in. Now I need to expand the collision. Oh, that is the collision box. Might have to adjust the scale. Let's see. We'll just start here for now. Now it should offset towards the player.
Dimensional cat.
You
Yes,
should
yes,
be
yes,
on
yes.
those
Only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
There it goes. Hey, popped it. I think I want it to be even a little bit bigger. On the level, here, let me stop this so I can read what you're saying. If you ever put the Niagara effect in the level by itself to make sure it's working correctly and then scale it like you want and check it again. I didn't do that. So this is the scale of it. And I think I would want it to be kind of like, oh, that's kind of cool though. You can like, just by expanding the scale, it does this. Might even look better just actually scaling it instead of the actual effect. I probably want it to be about this scale, which is like 2.7, like big enough so that the player actually has to try to avoid it. And I think I'm actually okay with having it look like this, just by scaling the effect itself. So 2.7. And we can do that here. And I might need to make it higher, like the socket higher. Had a few VFX I fought thinking I messed it up, only to realize the VFX was messed up and wasted a lot of time chasing code. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with the effect. I think it's working just fine. I mean, even the projectile seems to be working fine now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's working. I just have to set the right scale for it. The only thing that's being weird now is like the character movement, but I think it has to do with like plugging in and unplugging the controller. Okay. Got that. Here, I'm gonna make a new text box for this. Fourth thing, anytime you scale something or mess with it at runtime, check it outside of your code first to make sure your changes are not breaking it. I see what you're saying. VFX do not like being messed with. Right. I mean, I could go into like the particle effect itself and then, set the scale that way. If I wanted to, if that was important to me, which I might as well, I mean, I could just do it here. Um, sprite size, on right, sprite attributes. I believe this is it right here, the sprite size. So if I like 2x it, but it doesn't really, is that what I was looking for? I'm not entirely sure. That's the spawn rate, spawn count. It's showing up fine. It's just it was just a little smaller than I kind of imagined it being. And I think the reason it didn't show up the first time um, is that it takes a little. What I should be doing and what I plan to do before releasing the game, you can preload, um, visual effects. There's a couple ways of doing it. You can actually, like, if you have a loading screen, you can actually spawn the effects. That way, they're loaded into the object pool. So then, whenever it actually plays in the game, it's already loaded. Or you can like force load it. On responding to make sure you're not changing its scale upon spawn. I mean, the scale set to 1 on spawn. Um, so I'm not changing. I mean, I just set it to like 2.7 because I wanted it to be bigger. Um, but let's see. It might be better to do scaling in here. Here's the scale of the sphere. So if I do, I'm going to do like 2.6 instead of 2.7. So yeah, the sphere scale is a lot bigger now. This one, scale curve, uniform scale factor of 6. See what see what effect this is. Okay, so that is like the smaller one on the inside. I put it to 10. Yeah, that one's increasing it. Let's do like 9. Oh yeah, and Niagara is it's a beast to learn. There's so much stuff you can do inside of it. It's crazy. Okay, so here's our sprite size. What exactly is this one? Okay, so these are like the electricity here. And I thought those were a little too big. So here's our sprite size right here. Our minimum is at 10 and 12.5 with a max at 5. That doesn't make sense. There's the actual material. There's the lifetime. Okay. Let's set our minimum like 5. And then 8. Yeah, there we go. That's looking a little better. Do 10. Oh, let's see. Might want to shrink this one back inside of it. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm happy with that. So save it. And then I'll go back to here and set the scale back to 1. Okay. All right. Okay, so I think, so he's playing the attack now. Only thing that I might need to actually change is like the collision box, like the hitbox for it. If I go back to weapons, let me see what exactly is going on in the master projectile blueprint. Okay, so this is like for hitting surfaces, we got impact particles and sound effects. And then it's going to spawn them and then apply damage. So the thing is that the collision box is the root of it, and that's what works best with projectiles. So I'm thinking about creating, like copying this, all this stuff, and then just creating a different blueprint where I can change the size of this, because I could just scale it bigger, right? But that means that might mess with the Niagara scale then. So I think I'm just gonna do that. I'm just gonna create a new blueprint. We'll call this medium proj. Then what I'll do, paste it in here. One component hits. I need to put the component in first. Box collision. And then we could plop it out into the scene to see how big it actually is. Mess with it that way. We'll do on component hits. Make the hits so we can get the surface type. Create the variables. And then what do I got going on here? Is it just like, okay, it destroys the actor after amount of time. Okay. Impact VFX scale. Which I'll just set to 1. Didn't create damage amount. So what do I have for these ones? Do I have it at 20? I think I'm going to set it to 40 because this is kind of a more. Actually, we'll do 35 for damage. Do that. And then just make sure the collision settings are correct. Hold on a second. Scale is at 0.2. Fake one. Here we go. So if I set this from 0.2 back to 1, and then Niagara, we're going to scale it down. That definitely does mess with the scaling. I wonder if the Niagara is going to scale exactly how it is, regardless of the scale of the box component, collision component. You know, I might not have needed to create this new one here. I'm just gonna test it out again. Here, let's bring this is definitely smaller. But this is the one that I was playing around with. I could change the scale settings inside of here. I also need to hide that sphere. Bring our fake projectile out too. I know, right? It totally is a spirit bomb. That's awesome. Where's my fake one? Here it is. We can compare them, and they are indeed same scale. Compared to Magnus's size. Okay, let's mess around with scale of this again. Like the actual Niagara system. I'll like use this here so I can actually see it happen in real time. I need to do scale of this. There we go. Mesh scale, viewpoint, 5. I think that's the right one too. This one I need to make bigger as well. Okay. All right. I think that's right. What's the lightning? That looks kind of cool just like that. But it's less defined. That is like the outer sphere. Kind of like that inner gradient. How much time we waste tweaking things that most not give a second glance in game development. I once showed the wife a button I made. It took almost 2 hours, and it's a button. So true, dude. The amount of, I mean, like, oh my god, the time, like grass, you know, the way it, like, the reflection, or like the way the light goes through grass or something is just something ridiculous. You can spend so much time just on nothing. But I think we'll start with this. Okay, hitbox is bigger. I don't want it to be like huge, you know. Like give a little bit of like what's it freaking called? Leeway. A little bit of leeway for the player. Maybe just a little bit bigger. Okay. You know what? No. We'll keep it at that for now. Well, I had tried a sphere before when I was setting up projectiles, and it would go through objects. The collision would mess up. So when I was doing research, they say, or you're talking about the actual, like, instead using a sphere collision instead of a box collision. And that's a good question. I mean, I suppose I could do that. I think that would work. I thought you were talking about like a sphere, like object, and it definitely does not like that. Yeah, I mean, both work. Just either one works fine. Okay. Test it out again. Oh, I should probably save it first. That's gonna drive me crazy with the input.
Dimensional cascade event. Class 7 paradox signature. That
The signal.
you know,
Yacht.
so you
Those react.
the three. Only thing I'm witnessing is another cleanup job.
I also want to increase his speed at the beginning of the fight. He kind of like, ooh, I like that. That's cool. It might need to have more velocity to it though. I think it might be a little too slow. Oh yeah. Yeah, I mentioned that earlier. Like, I either need to go like crazy with the crystals or like none at all, because they're way too sparse right now,
Shit, I can't.
and they look like extra garbage on low setting. Oh, there it goes. Oh shit. Actually, you know, I think that speed is actually fine. I think next time I am gonna let it hit me though, just so I can confirm that it's doing everything it should be doing. Oh, get me. Oh. Oh, of course. The pillar was right there. You know what I spent a ton of time on, dude? Is the reloading. Like, the actual, like, visuals of him taking out the clip and then putting it back in. Like, I spent so much time on that because, like, whenever you dash, it interrupts it, or if it gets hit. And so, like, it can, like, you can get hit at any point during the reload sequence, and you have to handle all the logic for it. Like, if he gets hit, but he's still holding it in his hand, there's no reason to, like, spawn another one, and there's no need to, like, toss it. He just pops it in whenever he finishes dashes, dashes. Keep want to say dashes, dashing. Okay. Wish I understood IK and Virtual Bones better for stuff like that. Okay. Oh, it went right past me. Okay, or it went right through me. Oh, that doesn't make any sense. Let's set to block pawn. If we go to our master projectile, because that's on hit. Same settings. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's been what, a couple, maybe an hour and a half or so, and it's working, except for the damage, which I need to figure out. You know what I'm gonna do though, real quick, just for the sake of time. I'm gonna set it up so like I hit a button and it fires the projectile at me. Go. Boss. Less than 2 hours. You're working on the level when you started. Yeah, I made decent progress. Adding in a new attack. Gonna finish building out that section to the map. That's pretty decent. And I think I started the stream at like 6 o'clock or so. So it's been about 3 hours. Yeah, it's decent progress. It's been nice having company too while I develop. Okay, let's see. I'm having a brain fart. What was I doing? Yeah, I was copying the logic from the boss so I can fire the projectile at myself. Okay. That's the fake projectile. Trying to get the real one. This. Go here. Pop that there. I don't even need to set a reference to it. Do self. Let us get actor location. Spawn location. I will just pick this arrow. Boop, boop. hit one. Should fire the projectile at me. Walk off the damn cliff first. What the hell is going on here? It's like hitting the ground. Oh, there it goes. Now it's spawning. Spawning inside the ground. That was weird. What happens if I don't change the size? So I need to set up something that lets me know if it actually hits the player or not. Well, it's even registering a hit. Wait. I'll just do that just real quick. We'll just do 2 print strings. We'll do hit and then hit player. So it says hit, but it's not registering the player as being hit. So and it looks like it might be, is it passing through the player? Let's see. It looks like it might be passing through the player. It is. Extra fancy with print strings. Wait. Toggle breakpoint or add breakpoint. It's something I've only done a few times. That is nice. Yeah, I'll double check collisions. But I thought I took a look at them earlier and they were the same. Yeah, they're the same thing. So it doesn't make sense why some projectiles work and this one doesn't. Yeah, well, it makes zero sense. You got an idea? What might be happening? Because let's say, like, let's just pop in the master projectile just to see. Just to double check. Does not look like it's dealing damage. And it's not registering the hit on the player either. Projectile suck, dude. Always, literally always, there's a problem with projectiles. Okay, well, next thing I want to test then is testing a projectile that I know works, which is the small projectile of the boss. And I guess what I could even do is just create a duplicate of the small projectile and then just set the new Niagara, system for it. Real quick here. So this insect projectile. So that's not right. Yeah, that one's working. And I thought that one was a child. Oh, it's a child of rifle projectile. Okay. Weapons BP rifle projectile. That is in blueprints, weapons. There it is. Rifle projectile. Yeah, I'm just gonna copy this. Paste this in here. Wait. Why didn't I copy? Okay, it's being dumb then. I'll just do it manually. Duplicate it. Instead of, wait. Can you change its channel to projectile? Instead of physics object. So it is set to projectile. Like the collision or the object type is set to projectile. The only difference is it's overlapping visibility. It's blocking camera, blocking physics body. Oh, gotcha. Okay, I'm literally just gonna duplicate it at this point. I'm tired of messing with it. Okay. I'm calling it Spirit Bomb. And for these, I'm just gonna clear them. In the Niagara system. Oh, why isn't it showing up? What? Hell to block all. All right, man. Sounds good. Yeah, go hang out with the fam, do what you gotta do. And yeah, thanks again for stopping by, dude. And I'll talk to you soon. And I'll get this thing figured out. One way or another. Okay. Let's try. This. For sure. Gotta mess around with it enough times. There it goes. Now I just gotta adjust the speed and we should be good. What did I have it set to here? 2,000, 5,000. Oh, whoa. That's wild. Oh, it has to be set to movable. That doesn't make any sense, though. Oh, it's set to stack. Oh, I must have accidentally clicked it. That makes a lot of sense. And then for this, I need to clear this. Clear. All right. Now we're talking. Okay. Go here, remove this. And you know what? I think that will do it for the stream, guys. If anyone's there, thank you so much for tuning in. And I will try to do another stream soon, hopefully tomorrow or the next day. And then we'll work on finishing the level and try to finish the demo. Yeah, hope you all have a good night.